Today I want to kind of switch it up a little bit. I am sitting down as opposed to standing up just because I'm tired. Recently, I personally have had a lot of time to think about all kinds of random things, and one topic that has been coming up a lot has been the idea of boredom. More specifically, I wanted to talk about why I've been trying to reframe my overall perception of boredom. So everyone recently has been talking about being bored, not knowing what to do with their time. I've been seeing a ton of articles from various places, various online sources, of people implying that right now is the time to do all those things that we've always wanted to do. Like, if we're all handed this massive bucket of time out of nowhere, we should be able to do all the things that we wanted to do but didn't have the time to do so before. But maybe the problem isn't that we didn't have the time to do so before, but that the greater society is expecting us to fit so many things into the amount of time that we have in one day. Yes, we have 24 hours in a day, or I guess 16 hours where we're awake and doing things, but I don't think people are meant to be working or being 120% on their game for all 16 hours of the day that we're awake. TLDR, the constant hustle culture that we live in, I think is very insensitive to basic human needs. You know, we cannot possibly be there for the workforce or for our jobs or whatever we're doing throughout our day if we are not taking care of our physical, mental, and spiritual well-beings. So this is why I've been trying to reframe my position on boredom and my general thoughts around what does boredom mean. And right now I think is a super good time to be reflecting and thinking about our relationship to what it means to be bored and what it means to be productive and what is the value in doing those things or being in those states of being. Yes. So here are some conclusions that I've reached in trying to reverse engineer my toxic mentalities
that have been socially constructed in the capitalist nation that is the United States.
So Stacy, why is boredom a good thing? Well, Stacy, there are many reasons why. First of all, boredom gives us some much needed time to sit with our minds. So for some people, sitting with our minds, I think, is a really scary thing. We're not used to having this silence and all this time to think about all the things that are popping into our heads. But it's kind of like eating vegetables. I feel like sitting with your minds is really, really good for your overall mental well-being. Developing that sense of awareness of the things that are popping into our brains on a regular basis. I think it's really important to be aware of these things and aware of the patterns that you think in, not necessarily like judging or like trying to change your patterns of thought. It's a very meditative act, I feel like, just being able to sit and observe the thoughts that are coming in and out of your brain. And it's sort of weird at first, just observing and listening to what your brain is saying to you. But over time, I do think that this is something that is really beneficial to our overall mental well-being and just being aware of how our minds operate. So why else is boredom really good? Well, I've noticed that boredom really allows people to get super creative. I need to stop rotating in my chair. I've noticed that boredom allows people to get super creative, and I think that this is a byproduct of reflection as well. So people are really thinking about what is the best way they can use their time, what things pop into your brain when you think of, oh, I have free time now, what should I fill this time with? And as more and more time progresses where we're not really doing a lot of activities, people are coming up with more and more interesting ways of filling that time. People are making things left and right and cooking a lot of new recipes and growing gardens and doing house projects. I do think that there's a huge influx of art that is being created right now as a byproduct of people being inside and having a lot of time to process their minds. In doing this, people are finding a lot more ways to express themselves, and of course, this is going to be really great for our personal well-being and then also for the well-being of the people around us. So boredom is also a great moment of realignment. And when I say realignment, I mean thinking a lot about what are the things that make up our core beings. Like, what are our values? What are the things that drive us? What are the things that are overall important to our everyday lives? I think because we're constantly on the go and doing things and filling up all of our time every day, we don't really get time to take a step back and reflect on what are the things that are important to us. So right now I think is a really great time to reevaluate how we're spending our time and what are the things that we're doing to occupy all of our time as well. Not only in a period like this, but for down the line too, I think the time that we spend reflecting and understanding ourselves right now will be extremely beneficial for us later on as we continue to make different choices in our lives. It's definitely a much needed pause to iron out the mental wrinkles and rethink about the things that really inspire us and get us going in the mornings. So another thing I have come to conclude is that boredom is also a massive privilege. I feel like an asshole making this video talking about how much free time I have. Boredom is seriously, it's such a privilege, especially right now. If you're bored right now, it most likely means you're relatively stable in your life and you are able to afford the time to be bored. There's so many people out there who are still working like 16-hour days and are out there trying to find new work and trying to find new ways to have an income and have some sort of living. And there's definitely a lot of us who are in a pretty privileged position where we are somewhat financially stable or we're well supported. And so I've come to conclude that boredom is really a massive, massive privilege. Boredom is a period of time that maybe encourages us to look beyond ourselves and engage in some altruistic behavior. You know, if we are well and healthy and have the mental energy and space, then how can we yin that in a way that can benefit some other people who maybe don't have that same privilege? Boredom is absolutely necessary. It's kind of like a yin-yang. You can't have the lightness without the dark, or you can't have the excitement without the boredom. In our lives, we have to strike a healthy balance between these moments of quote-unquote dullness and moments of activity. You know, we can't be super excited about everything all the time, and hopefully we're not gonna be super, super bored by all the things in our lives all the time. We're not meant to be super active, productive machines. So boredom is super, super necessary to take a step back, reflect, and also a time to appreciate all the moments of excitement. So here are my conclusions around boredom. Yes, ironically, this video is actually a byproduct of boredom. So if you right now are also a bored human, then I am there with you. I am pretty dang bored, but that's okay because we need boredom, and boredom is part of being human. Right now, more than ever, it is totally okay to be taking breaks or not be at your quote-unquote normal self. But for now, what are you guys doing while you're bored and at home? I am making videos for the internet. And that's what I do with my time, and playing Animal Crossing. So hope everyone is taking care of themselves and is doing well. Bye!